Hi guys, today I am going to demonstrate how to meet assessment objectives in O-level business studies paper, and in this video in particular I'll talk about P1 questions. Let's have a look at the question now. The first question, A part, is about a term entrepreneur. So I rephrase the statement of the question and I use the word define the term entrepreneur rather than what is meant by entrepreneur. The reason is because now the modern command word define is used in the paper. So when this command word is there, as I discussed that in the earlier videos as well, so only knowledge objective is required. So whether you read the information which is given at the start of the question or not, it does not matter, because application is not required here. In fact, analysis and evaluation are also not required here. So now you are going to define the term entrepreneur and I have it done for you. But before I talk about it or I read this, I need to tell you that one thing is very important while you are defining a term in a question, and that is whenever you define a term, define it in a way that two identifiable parts must be there in the definition. Now let me read it for you. The definition I gave: a person who takes the risk of running a business and organizes resources together. That I assume is the first part of the definition, and to achieve the objective of profit is the second part of the definition. So this is how examiner finds it very easier to give 2 out of 2, right? So remember, whatever definition you write, now it's not compulsory that you have to copy the definition from the textbook or from the notes you follow. You can come up with your own definition, but it must be divided into two identifiable parts to gain 2 marks. Now have a look at the second part of the first question, that is part B. Complete the table above by filling in the 2 gaps for the restaurant business. The first one, they worked it out for you. So petrol supplier, type of business, raw material oil, process of added value oil refining, and product or services petrol, which is consumed by the final consumers. Second one, type of business restaurant, and raw material could be meat, or you can say vegetables, spices, or any other item which you feel that they are required as a raw material for making a meal. Now process of added value is cooking or frying or baking or whatever you think is actually suitable in a restaurant business. End product is meal there now. Okay, so after cooking, meal is ready. Right, so this is how this question also requires knowledge only. So you actually write 2 words there, you get 2 out of 2. So there are no marks for application, analysis, or evaluation. Okay, it's a different type of a question and an unusual one as well, because generally such questions are not asked, but they can ask you such questions as well. But it also requires knowledge only, and the command word is complete. So when they are giving you missing figures or spaces to fill it up, they are always about knowledge. Okay, now before I talk about the C part, I'll now read the information which is given at the start of the question. The information is, let me read it for you. After identifying a gap in the soft drinks market, Jerem developed a low sugar drink. He borrowed $5,000 from family and friends to start up a business and to provide working capital. Okay, now you need to remember that it's a soft drink market, right? Because later on you have to use it as an application. Jerem operates as a sole trader. I think it's by mistake there, so ignore it. Jerem operates as a sole trader. To promote his product, Jerem handed out free samples in the town center. In the first year, Jerem's business sold 10,000 units. This is 200 units more than his break-even output. Jerem is considering ways to increase added value. I won't talk about break-even because right now we are not covering this chapter. We'll only be talking about chapter 1 and chapter 2 only. So now have a look at the C part of this first question. Now C part is, it states, explain how each of the following can help Jerem increase added value. Now you can see the command word explain is there, right? And I told you earlier that explain command word actually points out that there are three assessment objectives to be met. One is knowledge, second is application, and the third one is analysis. So there are 2 marks for knowledge, 2 marks for application, and 2 marks for analysis. So first is change the packaging. So now I have to show the knowledge that what would happen if packaging is changed. That would be my knowledge. So I wrote it would make product demand inelastic. And you know what does it mean when we say demand is inelastic? It means demand is not likely to respond much with a change in price. It more or less stays the same. So this is my knowledge. I actually gave the answer in the form of a knowledge that by changing the packaging, it can make the demand inelastic. Now I have to explain how it could have an impact on the business, and that would be our analysis. Remember, whenever you are showing an impact on the business, actually shows analysis. But we have to use the information which is given at the start of the question as well to demonstrate application. Now, let me read it for you, the answer in explanation. Safer packaging would make the soft drink more hygienic. Now, I have used the word soft drink here. Now, this is application, right? So, we'll get 1 mark there for application. 1 mark for knowledge already gained earlier, and 1 mark for application will be awarded to you. Okay, now, so safer packaging would make the soft drink more hygienic, so people would be willing to pay a higher price, right? So now I am into analysis. Now I am going to make a chain of analysis to show the impact on business. Okay, so the people would be willing to pay a higher price. So what would happen then? Hence, it would increase the gap between price and cost of bought-in material. Why I wrote that? Because added value is the difference between price and the cost of bought-in material. The larger the gap, the greater will be the added value. So that is why I wrote that it would increase the gap between price and cost of bought-in material, and there is an increase in added value. So it means I actually explained fully that how it lead to increase in added value. Like the business would have an impact in the form of higher added value, because that was the demand of the question. Now see the second part, use cheaper materials. Now, so the knowledge shown by me is reduced cost of bought-in material. Of course, that is knowledge. Then in explanation, cheaper sugar, flavors. Now this is again application. Now avoid using the same word as application in the same question, right? Because I have used the word soft drink earlier, so it is better to use some other words. Now remember, the same word which is there in the information given is not compulsory to be used, right? You can use the context of the business, right? And it means whenever, let's say if it's a soft drink making business, so of course in the soft drink sugar is used, flavors are added, right? So it is also part of application. Either those words are there in the information given or not, but they are part of the context, so they will be considered as application. So cheaper sugar flavors would increase the gap between the price and cost of bought-in material. Again, I use the same reason, because added value is all about the difference between the price and the cost of bought-in material, so it would increase. Now without increasing the price, right? Now the business does not need to increase the price, hence there would be an increase in added value. Again, I explained how it would lead to increase in added value, and that would be the impact on the business. And why we are ending on added value again and again, the reason is that is the demand of the question. The question is only demanding about increase in added value.